Before I give a talk, I like to offer a prayer in sacred cornmeal. Wherever I go, I have to do that. And it's for you and everybody, every living things on this earth, animal, bird, plant, life, all the nature out there helping us. We give deep appreciation to those spiritual power energies that's from all direction, above, below, that they're here with us. We can't see them, and we can't see the air we're all breathing, but it's through this air, this power energy is pouring into every living thing on this earth, as well as everything that we see with our eyes. We're all one people. So I want to give thanks to the four directions, and I want to also thank you for coming and hope that you will return back to your home safely, to your families. And whatever we learned here tonight, you may be able to take this message back to you. Ima amata ni isna niya pa kamo kewa kasi mamayin ko ni kawati apa siya kam apa pirta ta ni ta tim tao wewe kam mo tama mo tema yung may tuwi mi ta no obe pa kamo lat man ni ni ko ti masay kam so ni ta nen na siya ta hala ni pa no yun nanda yo nane mo ko tanga o tamata ni. Back in 1948, when I started working as an interpreter for my elders, spiritual leaders who are the real Hopi leaders and who have no treaty with any nation, not even with the United government. They're still following their own traditional form of self-government. That's in 5 traditional villages out in Hopi country. And some of you have been out there in the Hopi area, northeast of Flagstaff or north of Winslow, and just east of Grand Canyon area. All that is in Hopi land. I learned quite a lot of things from my elders back in 1949, and what they said, I felt strongly that that message is not only for the Hopi or Native people, but all nations, that they know we're coming here someday. It's amazing what they have said in 1948. Most of the things that inventions that they mentioned are all here. They even predicted or known that some of your ladies are going to wear pants like men someday. And it's here right now. And some of them mess up your hair any way you want to. Until it becomes straight. And many of you put war paints on your faces to make it look pretty. And those things are known a long time ago. It may be like that someday. And someday you might not be able to know whether this man is a woman or girl. That's the way it is today. So many things that I learned from the elders back in 1948, I felt it was very important that I volunteered to interpret their message. Main thing that I found out that meant, because 4 days in one of the villages called Sangopavi on Second Mesa, and the Sangopavi has all the high spiritual religious societies still fronted every year. They still have initiations. And they're the only village that have what we call Wulchim societies. That's the highest religious society that you may be able to join. I only been initiated when I was born, given name. Then I initiated into Kachina society, which most of the young people are now joining, both boys and girls. You may join them or initiate there around 4, 5, or 6 years or older. And you take part in the ceremony. You take part in the 3-day fast and perform ceremony on the 4th day. And we have a ceremony every month throughout the year to keep this land alive in balance. That means gentle wind will come and bring rain clouds, and will rain and we drizzle day and night, no runoff, no flooding, destruction. It just go right in the ground. And by springtime there'll be a lot of grass, beautiful flowers of all kinds, and then it brings in all kind of butterflies and birds. They're happy. Animal birds, they find a lot of food out there. That's the way we keep this whole Western Hemisphere in balance. Most of the native people are doing the same thing, because we went to 4 directions and on this Western Hemisphere, and we stay right there where we were told by the Creator to keep our language, our ceremonies, and to take care of that certain spot in that area as an area carved out when people stay here. Another group on the other side, they have their area, and they all linked together like a chain. That's how we were spread out all over the Western Hemisphere and keep this land and life in balance. And that's why most of the native people still have their ceremony. Sing and dance, perform all kinds of rituals in the society. Some of them lost that. But in Hopi, as I mentioned, they still have higher religious society, and we're still in initiation. The Kachina society, when you join them, there are sometimes 80 or 90 or even 100 boys and girls will initiate in March and join the Kachina society. And when you do that, then you're able to go into Kiva and take part in the ceremony and understand many things that they do in there. And I went through that, and I know what happens when you pray, fast, meditate, sing in this religious activity. And we learn many things. The same thing the white brothers brought that they call a black book, Bible, which contains 10 commandments. The same basic principles that our elders teach us when we're growing up. And when we go into society, they teach you more of those things in a religious society. There's 80, 90, 100 years old leaders will be there. And those are the ones that met in Chernobyl in 1948. And they need some young person who had little education to interpret their message. They spoke in Hopi language, 80, 90, 100 years old. And they finally asked me if I would help them. Of course, 4 is a sacred number. You say no 4 times, you're not, you be able to get out of it. But when the 4th time they asked me, one elder man, he was about almost 90 years old, Kachina leader from Musanglabi. And he asked other people what my clan was, and most of people knew that I worked with before, and they kind of laughed at him, and they said, he belongs to your clan, and he belongs to Coyote clan. On my mother's side, I was born into that family, and I belonged to the coyote, wolf, and fox, those 3 animals I belonged to. So he was a member of that coyote clan, and he was so happy, and he said, I'm very happy to know that you belong to my clan. Don't hesitate, we need help, we need someone to bring this message not only to the Hopi native people, but the whole world. Because future things going to develop, you're going to have more problems on the hand, and we want the people to know about it so that they make correct changes, stop the wrong turn, and bring back at least part of the land in balance so that this one will not be destroyed. Then they went into great detail of the creation time. They said 5 real traditional spiritual leaders were there. There are other representatives, 11 pueblos out there. Every representative from those villages came. But those 5 spiritual leaders who were 80, 90, 100 years old, I know they were versed in many things that go into high spiritual leadership in society, religious society. So I know some of them. And they can sing many songs, different kind of Kachina song. They can tell you what color or paint, what kind of Kachina space should be contained. And the song belongs to the Kachina. And the prayer feathers for every living things on this earth, they make from eagle feathers. You have to have real feathers for ceremony. Those elders met 4 days, and I just wondered why they met. I finally realized, I just want to go through quickly because they mentioned first world, second world, third world, where human and wife supposed to be caretaker of all things that were created by our Creator. Human was like a great spirit, and he was supposed to be caretaker of everything on the earth. But humans always do something. When he gets developed to power where he can do many things himself, inventions, writings, and spiritual development, they turned it around and started to use it against each other. Animal, bird, trees, plant life, and they would not stop. They knew it's wrong. They continued to lie and steal and plunder many things, and no one stopped that. So that first world, they said, great area of land sunk, thousands of people destroyed, separated in the island here. But only a handful of people came out to the second world. Second world went quite a long ways, but again, human will not correct themselves when they start doing something wrong, misusing the power to develop. And that second one was visited by ice age, they said. The whole world was frozen to death. Everything there was living froze to death. A handful of people came out to the third world. And the third world went quite a long way, they explained it. But at the end, they began to develop power for themselves, spiritual power, and then inventions, and they can do many things individually, and they just don't care what they do. During the last part of that third world, we call it Banyacya, which is without balance of any kind, no spirituality, no sacredness, everything was wide open. Then they start gambling. Some of them not gambling today, I guess, make money, lost some money. But that's what happens. Last stages, they start gambling. Man, women, children just spend most of the time in the gambling hall, just having, drinking, I guess, fighting, quarreling, disputing, destroying one another. They won't stop it. Their spiritual leaders, the great leaders also will become really selfish, dishonest. They wouldn't admit their wrongdoing. No one correct them. So the Creator sent messengers down and tell them that whoever followed the law of the great spirit, law of nature, must get ready to get out of that before that's going to be destroyed by nature again. So few of them came out. Now we are living on this fourth world. The first, second, third world, and now we are living on this third world now. This time a group came up, they give them special reason to have their own languages. That's how we have languages all over the world. German language, Japanese language, Hopi language, Navajo language, Paiute language. Different nations have their own languages. but we received a great spiritual foundation. Very same thing. And we took it off to different wherever we were to go, to west, east and west, down the tip of South America and north, and all over the Western Hemisphere. And then our white brother, who was also a family, their mother said this color, some brown, red, some colors, and Mother Earth color was had the same one mother, but one of them had very light complexion, like white, and he's like a white brother, so we call him white brother. And those two received sacred stone tablets which contain all the knowledge, prophecy, warnings, religious instructions, how to take care of the land and life of the Creator, and what's going to happen if we don't. Two set of them were given to the younger brother who has this color, and two set of them to his older brother who has a light complexion, and we call him white brother. And he took some of our people, and he was told to go around the other side of the world toward east direction, and to take care of things on the other side of the world. But on this side, we, this color, native people, will take care of this side of the earth by performing ceremonies, rituals, and the song, and language. We keep it that way. So our white brother was also given special permission to record things, to invent things. And as long as you follow the spiritual circle, which is on this thing here, spiritual circle. And then when he make life beautiful, clean on the other side, he was to come back here to look for his younger brother who was still waiting for him. And he still performed a ceremony. And his white brother has inventions, recordings, and he come back here, and he was supposed to help us with his inventions, with his writings. But they said, this elder says that he might misuse his power again. If he bring spiritual circle, which he took with him at the beginning of his migration to the other side of the world, he will help us with his inventions. But if we bring his own symbol of cross, then we know he's going to start misusing his power again. He's writing, and he might destroy many of people. And Six Nations, Iroquois Confederacy had the same drawing on the wampum Pilipel. I talked with them 3 years, finally to open up, and they showed me some wampum Pilipel. And they know about this. And to them, that cross is like a sword, a spear. A white bird bring, and he's going to push many of our people to the western part someday. Take everything away from them. Forests, rivers, hunting, fishing rights, eagle, many other things, sacred things, he's going to take that away from them. And by using his writing, he just might do that. So that's what I found out, that in 4 days meeting, one elder who was 86 years old, came from Bluebird clan, and he said the reason we met because a white brother came and he sent us a letter, a bill that contains many things in there we don't understand. Of course, the white man's writing, many writings here, and but he told us that he mentioned in the one page that I took this land away from you a long time ago without compensation. So I passed this law to give you a chance to sue the government for land that's taken without compensation. And if you do that, you fight to a federal court. If you win, we give you money, not the land. They just wonder about that. Old people, what kind of white brother that came do that kind of thing to us. There are thousands of us living on this Western Hemisphere. He didn't go and tell them, he didn't allow to see them, he didn't let him know, but he brought up this building, White House someplace, and made it a law. We can't sell our mother. This earth is a mother, a living, powerful being, female. Everything came from her. We came from the trees, animal, birds. Everything came from her. When you die, go back to your mother. These are things that I learned from them. They've explained many things. So I felt that what they're saying is true. And I was so surprised that these old people mentioned these things. And one man, he was a Kachina leader. He was about 80 years old at the time. He's from another village across from Sangopavi. He got up and he said that Robert translator told us that white brother has used his writings to take this land away from us and trying to force to sell his Mother Earth to him. We can't do that. So we all decided we're not going to file any claim against the United States government. It's just not that it belongs to him, it belongs to the Creator. And he told us what to do. If we do not, then we know certain things will happen to us. So we don't want to do that. And this Kachina leader mentioned that he was 80 years old then, and he said his former uncles and religious leaders told him that you may be able to see a white brother bring many things here. He's an inventor. He might invent a wagon. He might invent a car. He might invent an airplane. And then he tells what happens if those inventions comes. And I was so surprised when I learned many things from them that the white brother, also being a inventor, he just might, what he said, I don't believe what that is or understand. I can't believe that the white brother is going to build a road up in the sky someplace where people will be traveling someday. And we talk about that for a while, and we finally realize that someone's going to invent airplane that would be traveling up there in the road in the sky, and people would be traveling back and forth like that. And that is that when someone's going to create something. The most powerful thing that humans again see what happened in the First, Second, and Third World that destroys everything. And again, we're doing it again. Well, white brother did that, the inventor, but he misused his power. So if he, being inventor, he will also invent power that go up to the moon, and the star mess around this moon and stars. He's going to continue on, and it'll create problem. And he told us, if you ever get to that moon, don't bring anything down from that moon to Earth. Because if you do, you're going to have more earthquake, more tidal waves, you're going to have more sickness that can't be cured for a long time. Seeds is going to change, and many things that tells us. He tells us that will happen if we bring that moon down. And that already happened. And then he said he would take some mineral resources, and he named them in Hopi, many things, and I didn't know what he was talking about, and finally realized that he was talking about uranium, that he was going to take this uranium out from the ground. When he disturbed it, there's poison air coming. There's no way to stop that. But he's going to take that, and he's going to make what he called a gourd full of ashes. And he referred to our rattle, gourd rattle we use in our ceremony. Small, so hot, so powerful, and so dangerous that whoever invent that ever allow that to fall on the earth someplace. It'll just burn everything to ash in a few seconds. That really got me. I was so surprised that old people who had never been to school, could read and write, but they were talking Hopi and told exactly what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki when the United States government threw a bomb over the atom bomb, burned everything to ashes. Rivers got so hot you jump in the river, you die from heat. They tell all that. That really got me. And I felt that we need to spread this message around, because this old man says if you throw that bomb around, we already have thrown it to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we throw it over Vietnam, Korea, Mexico, Persian Gulf, and other places around the world. Those nations never bother us, never invade us, but why the United States throwing it around? Send thousands of military power over there, soldiers over there, for what? They didn't bother us here, but they sent many things over there for some reason. He said, if we throw that bomb over there, we, the native people, are not supposed to go in an army and destroy land and life on the other side. And we ought to take care of this side of the earth through prayer, fast, and meditate, so that this land and life will be in balance, and also on the other side of the world. And the white brother supposed his usage is meant to make life beautiful, clean, and lasting too, but he misused that. So he threw that bomb. So he said, if we continue throwing that bomb around the other side of the world, those people over there are going to suffer terrible things. They're going to destroy many people, many property, and living things. Sooner or later, those people are going to get sick and tired of it, and they're going to start get together. And they're going to make something most powerful, maybe atom bomb, and they're going to throw it here. That's what I was so surprised that Tosin mentioned that. So in the Second World War, I didn't go in the army. I didn't register. I wanted to be a good Hopi, because Hopi means peace, kind, peaceful, one and kind, gentle, truthful, humble person. And I want to take care of this land according to the Hopi instructions. I've been initiated into society, Kachina society. I learned our spiritual never tell us to go other world to destroy life and property over there. So he said, if we continue to do that, those people are going to rise up, and they may even throw that bomb here, or they're going to come here. They're going to really punish severely those people who continue to do that. And they will have no mercy for those liars and children, clutters who destroy life in that way. And they will come here to purify this for the Creator. So this world will not be destroyed. First, second, third was destroyed, but this fourth world is supposed to go on forever. So that's why they told me to carry this message wherever I go. Now, this man referred to this atom bomb. He called it gourd rattle. This is what we call it Mother Earth, representing Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth keeps talking to us all the time, but we, the children of this Mother, don't respect our Mother anymore. We don't even know that we have a Mother. We have this tore up Mother Earth in every way, but Mother is still living and warning us. So when you fast in ceremony, you clean your mind, bodies, and the spirit, you hold His hand on white. Then you perform a ceremony and keep this world in balance, so that the green valleys, everything is good, green ways, and with the sun rays, everything grows. And this yellow represents respect for of yourself, animals, birds, your family, and a good, happy life be created. This represents female, producer of life. When baby born, blood runs. And for some reason, you know that woman purify themselves every month. And they have 4 parts to it in that. And I learned that in the society. And so this represents many things. We make this in February, March, to give a gift to the boys. And the Kachina dal, I brought one Kachina dal, which is also very important because this Kachina is the representative of spirit within each individual. This Kachina spirit, and when we plant bean sprout, we get that high, and the 16-day period we harvest it and bundle up and tie it to this Kachina spirit being, and this baby plant, baby Kachinas, is given to the baby girl. So the baby girl received that plant, and her mother would dress it, and they would cook that bean sprout so everybody eat that. That is the beginning of everything on this earth. So this is very important that I bring this to you by bringing this. And this is representing the spirit. There are many Kachinas of different type, and they're representing many forces outside. So I didn't go to the army trying to be good Hopi, but somehow FBI or U.S. Marshal found it caught up with me and threw me in jail for almost 7 years. To be a good Hopi, don't want to disturb anybody, dandelion or part on the other side, and all that. But to hold on to a spirituality here. After I came out, almost 7 years, then I wrote a letter to former President Eisenhower, request a hearing on this with the Hopi elders. I had about 13, 14 elders, met top selective service officers in Holbrook, Arizona, and they all recognized that Hopi and Native people should not go in the army, should not go to the other side. But they forced us into it, and many of our people lost and never come home. And many came home, but now they're taking this land away from them. They said they fight for their land, but their land is being taken away by law. That's by the Canadian government, the United States, and the United Nations here, but they didn't do anything. So that is why old people told me, give everybody a chance to do something now, because we're running into something very important days. We either clean up this mess or suffer most terrible things in the future. So I thought that I should do that by accepting to be an interpreter. As my grandbrother told me, that you have a mission like a coyote. You hear a coyote yelling out sometime at night, and he can welcome you in certain ways, and he can bring you a danger that might be coming. Or he may come and tell you something's going to happen here tonight or tomorrow. Those are the messages, same as our crow and other animal birds are messengers. So it said, you are a messenger, and go out, tell what we told you. Like the Bible, many American people have turned away from the 10 Commandments. And what happened to the Native people? And they said that every foreign government, Canadian government, United States, United Nations, our foreign government came on our homeland, our country, our land that was created, gave us to take care of. And every one of them talking about religious freedom, independence, about human rights, right to own property, to speak your language or religion. But they have, every time Canadian government pass a law, they take this away from Native people. Hunting, fishing, rice, forest, everything that they depend on for livelihood is being gradually taken away. So no one seems to take care of the Native people on whose land you're living today. just before I left home last week, I picked up paper and they have a Hopi observer, look at paper, it came from Tuba City, mentioned that the senator in New Mexico are talking about taxing the Indians over there. And many tribal leaders across the country are talking about taxation, the government of Texas. After all these lands taken away from us by force, by cheating, by lying, by confiscating us by force, now he wants to tax us. When Naval was there, he was a member of Naval Council, I imagine, in Flagstaff, and some people from Cuba where I was born, I know them. They mentioned that to me, and I said, well, don't worry about that. I think we're going to turn it around. And they said, what do you mean? Well, since 1492, first white man came to our country, or the island, they didn't discover America, but he just drifted into the island, and our native people discovered him lost out in the ocean. Now, I think we should start taxing white people from that time on. They never paid taxes since they came to our home, our country. It's time that they pay us something. And many other things that they talk about. But these elders mentioned that these things will be coming soon. They will take things away from us, mainly land, home country, because they will not hear first, so they want to do anything to take this land away from us. Don't give in, don't let this land go, don't sell it, hold on to it, no matter what happens. So many laws have been passed, and up in this is a map. I have few printed material here. This is a map of Arizona, northeast corner. This black area is what government wants us to sell that area to them because that contains more minerals of all kinds, and he wants to pay us $5 million for that, but we're not going to sell it. These people don't want to sell Mother Earth. So they all decided not to do that. I want to mention main things that I learned in 1948. My last request was to take this message to the Canadian government of the United States, which I did, and finally to the United Nations. I knocked on the door 4 times, 1949, 1972, 1983, and finally they opened it to the native people in Hopi, 1992, December 10. So we brought this message to them, and I called on the powers outside to help us to present this message to the United Nations. In the middle of my talk, 80, 90 mile an hour wind came as over, knocked that United Nations over. Terrible rainstorm, tidal waves too destructive, lightning and thunder, and then the snowstorm, and then the blackout. That happened. We bring that message to the United Nations. And I'll explain it tomorrow. Mainly from the beginning, Great Spirit, no end to this lower road. If we follow it, it's like a circle. White brothers brought, and he go on the upper road, the vendors. He's still contesting powerful things, but it's time to hear. We may find ourselves survivors. So this is what I will tell you. And I think that many nations across the country are aware that earthquake, flooding, tornadoes, and many things will happen. Like in Japan, great structure fell, thousands of people destroyed. In Russia was on a war path, they thrown bombs and thousands of people over there, landless, homeless. We either destroy ourselves with man-made things or nature's going to hit us. We've gotten into it. And I hope it won't happen here tonight. When I'm talking, earthquake starts, every one of you have to find your way to survive. I can't tell you how to do it. Everybody's going to jump and run, try to find a way to survive. That's where we are today. So this problem is so great here. We need to change, correct this thing. So I hope that many of you will come back tomorrow. I will explain as close as I can the prophecy. So in order to get a little funding, since 1940 I didn't have a job and money, and I've been in prison for a long time. And so I asked for a little help. I was willing to give this, it's 75, but I really gave it for 60. If anyone wants the sacred Kachina spirit. And then I have my son also make this bracelet with this prophecy on it. And it's at 150, but now we bring it down to $100. So if anyone want it, we can give $100 here. I got 2 of them here. They have some more down in below. So I hope that some of you understand. And I have little printed material here too. If anyone wants to take some of it, I wish I had more of it, but that's all I have now. So maybe I better stop talking so you can have some other people who might be talking here. So anyone who want to take this, they have to have it. Thank you very much.